Every day, thousands of students around the world search for the same thing, a fully funded PhD opportunity. They open Google, they check LinkedIn, they search university job boards, they scroll through scholarship websites and vacancy pages again and again, and eventually they find an opportunity. But there's a problem. Thousands of other applicants may have found it too. Same vacancy, same deadline, same application portal, same competition. So let me ask you a different question. What if you could identify promising research groups before an opportunity reaches your usual search results? What if, instead of waiting for the words, PhD position available to appear, you learned to recognize the signals that can sometimes come before recruitment? A newly funded research project, a laboratory expanding into a new research direction, a series of recent publications, a new collaboration, a research group that is clearly growing. None of these automatically means that a PhD position exists, but they can tell you something important. This is a research group worth watching. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 research strategies that can help you discover fully funded PhD opportunities more systematically and identify promising research groups earlier. Because finding a fully funded PhD isn't only about searching harder, it's about knowing where to look and what signals to look for. Let's begin with strategy number 1. Start with research groups, not just job boards. When most students begin searching for a PhD, they immediately search for vacancies. They type something like, fully funded PhD in cancer biology, PhD position in artificial intelligence, or funded PhD in environmental science. There's nothing wrong with doing that. In fact, official vacancy pages should absolutely be part of your search. But here's the limitation. A vacancy page mainly shows you what is available now. A research group can show you something different. It can show you where the research is happening. Imagine that you're interested in cancer immunology. Instead of searching only for PhD cancer immunology, start identifying universities, research institutes, professors, and laboratories that are actively working in that field. Then investigate them. What questions are they studying? What have they published recently? What projects are currently running? Who is collaborating with them? And is the research group expanding into new areas? You're no longer looking at a single vacancy. You're beginning to understand an entire research ecosystem. And that gives you something extremely valuable, a watch list. Maybe there is no PhD position advertised today. That's okay. Add the research group to your watch list, or follow its publications, check its news page, monitor its official vacancies, and pay attention to new projects and funding announcements. Because if an opportunity does eventually appear, you won't be discovering that research group for the first time. You'll already understand what they do, where their research is heading, and whether your background genuinely fits. So don't stop asking, where is the PhD vacancy? Start asking, where is the research happening? Now let's move to strategy number 2. Follow the funding. This is one of the most powerful signals you can learn to watch. And yet, many PhD applicants never look for it. Unaumo, they wait until they see the words, PhD position available. But research often begins much earlier than the vacancy announcement. A professor develops a research idea. A team prepares a proposal. A funding organization evaluates it. And eventually, a research project may receive funding. That funding can support many things. equipment, experiments, travel, collaborations, research staff, and in some projects, doctoral researchers. But here's the distinction I want you to remember. A funded project does not automatically mean there is a PhD position available. Funding is a signal, not a vacancy. Your job is to investigate what that signal means. Suppose you discover that a professor in your field has recently received funding for a new 3-year research project. Don't immediately email them saying, "I saw your grant. Can I have a PhD position?" Instead, investigate. What is the project about? When does it begin? Which institution is leading it? Who are the collaborators? What expertise will the project require? And most importantly, does the university or research institute list any official recruitment opportunities connected with it? If not, add that project and research group to your watch list. Then monitor the official channels. This changes the way you search. Instead of waiting only for vacancies, you're learning to recognize research activity before recruitment becomes visible to you. So remember, don't treat funding as proof of a PhD opportunity. Treat it as a reason to investigate. Now let's move to strategy number 3, or key, follow recent publications. 1. When students research a professor, many stop at the university profile. They read a few sentences describing the professor's research interests and think, "Okay, I understand what this lab does." But research changes, new questions emerge, new methods become important, collaborations develop, and research groups can move into entirely new directions. That's why you shouldn't only ask, "What does this professor study?" Ask, "What has this professor been working on recently?" One of the best places to look for that answer is their recent publications. Start with the last 2 or 3 years. Don't just read the titles. Look for patterns. Are several papers addressing the same scientific problem? Is the laboratory repeatedly using a particular method? Are new collaborators appearing? Is the group moving toward a new research topic? Are multiple publications connected to the same larger project? Those patterns can tell you much more than a general biography ever will. Imagine you're searching for a PhD in cancer immunology. You discover a professor whose profile simply says, "Cancer biology and immunology." That's useful, but now you open their recent publications, and you notice several recent papers focus on spatial transcriptomics, tumor microenvironments, and immune cell interactions. Suddenly, you understand the laboratory at a much deeper level. And now you can ask a better question. Does my experience connect to where this research is going? You can also look at the authors. Who is publishing with the professor? Which institutions appear repeatedly? Which researchers are part of the group? Which collaborations seem to be growing? Again, a recent publication does not mean that a PhD position is available, but it gives you another important signal. It helps you identify active research worth investigating. So, don't study only what a professor says they research. Study what they're actually publishing now. Now let's move to strategy number 4. Search beyond university job boards. University vacancy pages are important. You should absolutely check them. But don't make the mistake of assuming that one job board represents the entire PhD landscape, because depending on the country, the institution, and the way doctoral researchers are recruited, opportunities may appear through several different channels. A graduate school may announce its own doctoral call. A research institute may recruit doctoral researchers directly. A structured PhD program may have a separate application portal. A research consortium may announce positions connected to a larger project, and sometimes a research group's own website or news page may point you toward an official recruitment route you hadn't discovered yet. This means your search needs to become wider, but also more organized. Imagine you're interested in neuroscience. Searching only. Neuroscience PhD vacancy may show you some opportunities. But now expand the search. Which universities have neuroscience graduate schools? Which research institutes specialize in neuroscience? Sarshro. Which doctoral programs recruit internationally? Which major research projects are active in your field? And which official institutional career pages should you monitor? Suddenly, you're no longer depending on one search result or one website. You've created multiple discovery channels. But there's an important rule here. The wider you search, the more carefully you need to verify. Social media, search engines, academic networks, and scholarship websites can all help you discover an opportunity. But discovery is not verification. Before you spend hours preparing an application, find the official source, check the university, the research institute, the graduate school, or the official program page. Confirm the deadline, eligibility, funding, required documents, and the official application route, so broaden your search without lowering your standards. Discover broadly, verify officially. Now you might be thinking, this sounds useful, but am I supposed to check all of these websites every single day? No. And that brings us to strategy number 5. Build alerts that search while you sleep. One of the biggest mistakes applicants make is starting their PhD search from zero every day. Open Google, type the same keywords, check LinkedIn, open university websites, scroll through vacancies, repeat tomorrow. That isn't a search strategy. It's a routine that can quickly become exhausting. Instead, build a monitoring system. Start with your research interests. Create several specific keyword combinations rather than one enormous search. While, for example, instead of monitoring only PhD biology, you might track terms related to PhD molecular microbiology, doctoral researcher antimicrobial resistance, or PhD microbial genomics. Then create alerts where reliable alert functions are available. You can also subscribe to official vacancy newsletters, doctoral program updates, research institute career alerts, and research group news. And remember what we learned earlier. You're not monitoring only vacancies. You may also want to monitor new projects, funding announcements, recent publications, and updates from your priority research groups. But don't create 50 alerts. More information doesn't automatically create a better search. Start with a small number of highly relevant alerts. Then review them regularly. When something promising appears, don't immediately apply. First, verify it. Check the official source. Evaluate the research fit. Confirm the funding. Check the deadline. And then, add the opportunity to your tracker. Now your search has changed. Instead of asking, "Where should I search today?" your system is asking, "What changed since I last checked?" And that is a much smarter way to search. Or, don't start from zero every day. Build a system that keeps watching. Now let's move to strategy number 6. WARS, look beyond famous universities. When many students begin searching for a PhD, they naturally start with names they already recognize. The universities they've seen in rankings. The institutions everyone talks about. The famous names appearing again and again online. And there's nothing wrong with applying to excellent, well-known universities. But there's a danger when those universities become your entire search strategy. Because world-class research doesn't happen only at world-famous universities. It also happens in specialized research institutes, smaller universities, graduate schools, university hospitals, research centers, and highly specialized laboratories that may be internationally respected within a particular field, even if their university name isn't immediately familiar to you. This is where your search mindset needs to change. Don't begin with, which famous university should I apply to? Begin with, where is excellent research happening in my field? Imagine you're interested in antimicrobial resistance. Instead of looking only at the universities you already know, search for researchers, laboratories, projects, and institutes producing strong work in antimicrobial resistance. Follow the publications, follow the projects, follow the collaborations, follow the research networks. You may discover an excellent laboratory at an institution you had never considered before. Then evaluate what actually matters. Does the research fit your background? Is the supervision environment appropriate? Is there an officially funded doctoral opportunity? What does the program offer? And does this opportunity move you toward the research career you want? University reputation can be one factor in your decision, but it should not replace research fit. So expand your map. Don't search only for famous names. Search for excellent research. And now, we arrive at strategy number 7. This is where everything we've discussed comes together. Build your PhD opportunity pipeline. Right, because finding opportunities is only half the challenge. Whereas the other half is remembering what you found, why it matters, and what you need to do next. Imagine you've discovered 20 interesting research groups, 3 newly funded projects, several doctoral programs, 5 possible vacancies, and 10 professors whose research interests you. What happens next? For many applicants, the answer is nothing. The links disappear into browser bookmarks. Deadlines get forgotten. Interesting professors are never checked again. And every few weeks, the search begins from zero. We can do better than that. Create a simple PhD opportunity tracker. It doesn't need to be complicated. For every promising opportunity or research group, record a few important things: the institution, the professor or research group, your research area, what signal brought it to your attention, whether an official vacancy actually exists, the funding information, the deadline, your level of research fit, and your next action. Then give each opportunity a status. For example, watch, investigate, prepare, apply, or not a fit. That last category matters. A good search strategy isn't only about finding more opportunities, it's also about knowing which opportunities not to pursue. Because your time is limited, and 10 carefully selected applications can be far more strategic than 50 applications sent without strong research fit. So every time you discover something promising, move it through the same process. Discover, verify, and browse. Evaluate the fit, track it, and then act. Now, your PhD search is no longer a collection of random browser tabs. It becomes a pipeline. And once you have that pipeline, you can improve it week after week. Don't just collect opportunities. Build a system for deciding what deserves your attention. We've now covered all 7 strategies. But knowing the strategies isn't enough. You need to see how they work together. So let's do something practical. Imagine that I'm a student looking for a fully funded PhD in cancer immunology, and I have 15 minutes to improve my opportunity pipeline. I'm not expecting to find the perfect PhD in 15 minutes. That's not the goal. The goal is to identify where I should investigate next. So, let's start the clock. Step 1. Define the field first. I make my research interest more specific. Not simply cancer, but perhaps cancer immunology, tumor microenvironment, or cancer immunotherapy. Specific research interests produce more useful searches. Step 2. Find active research groups next. I search for universities, research institutes, and laboratories actively working in these areas. I'm not asking yet, who has a PhD vacancy? I'm asking, where is this research happening? Step 3. Check recent publications. Now I choose a promising research group and look at its recent publications. What has the group published during the last 2 or 3 years? Are there recurring topics, methods, collaborators, emerging research directions? I'm looking for patterns, not simply collecting paper titles. Step 4. Look for project and funding signals. Next, I check the group's current projects, institutional news, and available funding information. If I discover a recently funded project, I don't assume that a PhD position exists. Hold. I simply mark it as a signal worth investigating. Step 5. Search official opportunities now. I check the official sources. The institution's careers page, graduate school, doctoral program, research institute vacancies, and any official recruitment information connected to the group. If I find a position, I verify it. Is it funded? Am I eligible? What's the deadline? How do I apply? And most importantly, does the research genuinely fit my background? Step 6. Don't throw away a good signal. Suppose there's no vacancy today. That doesn't necessarily mean the search was unsuccessful. If the research fit is strong and the group appears active, I add it to my watch list. Now I know exactly what I want to monitor. Step 7. Update the pipeline. Finally, everything useful goes into my tracker. Research group, institution, research area, signal, official vacancy status, research fit, deadline, if one exists. And my next action, maybe the next action is apply. Maybe it's prepare. Maybe investigate, or simply watch. And that's the important transformation. 15 minutes ago, I had a broad goal. I want a funded PhD in cancer immunology. Now, I have something much more useful. A small number of research groups, signals, and verified opportunities with clear next actions. None. That's what a strategic PhD search looks like. Before we finish, let's turn everything we've learned today into a system you can actually use. Here's your PhD search checklist. Before you finish your weekly search, ask yourself, have I checked the research groups working actively in my field? Have I looked at their recent publications to understand where their research is heading? Have I checked for new projects, funding announcements, or other signals of research activity? Have I searched beyond the universities and institutions I already know? Have I reviewed my alerts and the official vacancy pages I'm monitoring? And when I found something promising, did I verify it through an official source? Did I confirm the funding, the eligibility requirements, the deadline, and the official application procedure? Then ask yourself something even more important. Is this opportunity actually right for me? Does the research fit my background? Do my skills connect to the project? Can I explain why this research group makes sense for my next academic step? And finally, have I updated my opportunity tracker? Does every promising opportunity have a clear next action? Watch, investigate, prepare, apply, or not a fit. If you can answer those questions clearly, you're no longer searching randomly. You're building a PhD opportunity pipeline. Maat, and remember, the goal isn't simply to find more PhD positions. The goal is to identify the right opportunities earlier and prepare for them more strategically. Before you open another job board, remember this: most applicants search for PhD positions. Strategic applicants also search for where the next opportunity may come from. They follow the research. They watch the signals. They verify the opportunities. And when the right opportunity appears, they're already better prepared to recognize it. Because finding a fully funded PhD isn't only about searching harder, it's about knowing where to look, what signals to watch, and what to do next. If this video helped you, save the checklist and use it during your next PhD search. And share this video with someone who is currently looking for a fully funded PhD opportunity. Subscribe for practical strategies on scholarships. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.